What's up YouTube? My name is Ruff and today I want to go over 5 tips and tricks in Ableton that I wish I knew earlier. So the 5 tips and tricks we're going to be going over are bringing in groups and tracks from other project files into your current project file, saving instrument racks and audio effect racks, using the search bar rank feature, saving default templates, audio and MIDI tracks, and utilizing track delay on the sidebar. So the first thing we're going to go over is bringing in groups or tracks from other project files into your current project file. So say you're working on a track and you're like, I need a clap in this drop that works really well over the top of my kick drum on the 2 and 4. I made a song a couple weeks ago and I really love the clap I used in there and the processing I did on it, but I don't want to recreate that from scratch. So all you would do is you would grab that project file and drag it onto the sidebar here. It'll pop up, you'll click it, click this little arrow right here, give it a second, and it's gonna open up all of your different groups. So the way I group my project files is I'll have everything that's non-vocals in one big group and then all the vocals in another group. So I'll open up that non-vocals group. We're looking for a clap, so I'm gonna go to my drum group. I'm gonna go to the drop. So here's the drop clap I'm looking for, and I simply just grab it. It's gonna take a second to load, and you just drag it right here, and boom, look, everything loads up. All my processing that I had on, literally everything I did in the Sweater Weather Rough Remix project for my drums, drop, clap, snare is all here. Boom. That easy. And you could do this with MIDI if there's a Serum or a Nexus patch that you did a lot of processing on and you want to just drag that boom right in and then add whatever MIDI you're currently working on instead of the MIDI from the previous project file. You could do that in 2 seconds. I really wish I knew this earlier because there's been many times over the years where I go and recreate sounds I already used in other project files because I'm like, that would sound good in this project too. And if I just had known, I could drag it in from that project file and not have to recreate it from scratch. Would have made my life a lot easier. Second tip I want to go over is saving instrument racks and audio effect racks to use them again later. So if I come here to my instruments, instrument rack, you'll see I have a bunch of different ones, ARPs, basses, guitars. So for example, this ARP Stranger Things, if I grab that and drag that here, it's going to open up all the processing and everything I did for this ARP. So I can access this ARP at any time. So all you would do for that is, so this is the patch, you're using Serum, this processing chain on it. All you would do is click the first one, hold down Shift, click the last one in the chain, hit Command G on Mac. Then all you would do is hit this save button here and name it whatever you want, Stranger Things ARP, and boom. Now you can access it at any time, grab it, drag it right into the project file, and you got your Stranger Things ARP with all the processing that you used previously right there for you. But you can also do this with just processing as well. So for example, this telephone texture, it's a setting in H delay that I really like that I altered a bit, and all I did is grouped it. And now when I go to my audio effect rack presets, it's right there for me to drag on at any time. Tip number 2, saving instrument and audio effect racks by grouping them, hitting the save button in the bottom left corner and then naming them whatever you're gonna remember to access them again in the future. Tip number 3 is using the search bar rank feature. So if I hit Command F to search everything in my Ableton and I type in kick, you'll see these little icons on the side underneath rank. And then if I click it, you'll see it's gonna go from biggest down all the way to smallest. And what that means is the bigger the rank bar, the more often I use that sample when I produce, and it's gonna rank them by most used to least used. And all you do to access that is right click and click rank, and boom, it'll show you. So if you know there's a clap or a snare that you find yourself using a lot, you'll be able to have it show up first in the search bar so you don't have to go digging for it. Oh, there it is, and drag it into the project because it's just gonna pop up in order of most used to least used. As you go through your production every single day, it's gonna notice what you use the most, what you use the least, and then rank them from there in the search feature. Tip number 4 is setting up defaults, templates, audio, and MIDI tracks. So if I just click here and then click Command T to open up a new audio track, you'll see when it opens I have Saturn, an EQ, Pro Q3, utility, another utility that's set to -6 decibels, and then another EQ every time I open up a new audio track. And this is just what I personally like to always have on my audio tracks when I open up a new one. So all you do is once you have it set, okay, these are the plugins I want every time I open up a new audio track, just right click and click Save as Default Audio Track, click Yes. Now every time you open up an audio track, it's gonna have that processing on it, and you can do the same exact thing for a MIDI track as well. Then you'll see if I open up a new Ableton live set, it's gonna bring this up with my sidechain send, my sidechain sample, my reverbs that I like to use, my essential plugins I like to use, reference track group, non-vocal group focus. So this is my default template, and I have a video on my channel where I go over what I put in my default template as well, and you can check that out on my channel. But what I did is I set up, okay, this is what I want Ableton to look like every time I open up a new live set. So once I had that set, all you do is click File, Save Live Set as Default Set, and it's gonna set it so whatever you have right there that you save as default set, that's what's gonna open up every single time you open Ableton. And then tip number 5 is the track delay in the sidebar. Now I can't believe I went so long in my production career here without knowing about this, because it's literally goated. All you do is come down here and click this little D, and it's gonna open up this little millisecond thing here, and this is a track delay. So I have these hi-hats set up here just to give you a little demonstration. So if I click here, pull my mouse across, then hit Command L to loop it. Pretty, not too exciting, pretty basic, and doesn't really give you a groove. So what I would do is just let it loop and just pull this down. Until I get the feel that I'm looking for. So obviously it's not in the context of a full drum mix, but as I'm going through and working on drums, I'll just play with the delay. Sometimes I won't actually use the delay, I'll keep it at 0 milliseconds, but I just like to play with it from time to time, especially on percussions, hi-hats, and loops, just to get everything a little bit off the grid, to get it to feel more natural, human, and swung. That's all for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll catch you next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Peace!